Wyclef, you are very patient.
I am.
You are very patient.
But you see, I have ADD. You see that I'm going like that.
You were good. You were good. All right. Wyclef has written a book called Purpose, An Immigrant's Story. The ebook version contains a song you can't get anywhere else. Here.
I started off a battle MC, but a wise bird told me, if you gon' make money, you gotta learn to write your sheet music. Yeah, like Amadeus, gotta write like Amadeus, boy. Amadeus, gotta write like Amadeus, boy. Amadeus, gotta write like Amadeus. Write my own sheet music like Amadeus.
Like Amadeus.
Yes.
I get the point. How are you?
Right, like Amadeus.
Mm-hmm.
How are you? How you been?
Wyclef, such a fan.
Of course. 2 kisses. How are you?
I do the 2 as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Speaking of your music, I was saying to Steve earlier, if I were president, I love that song.
Thank you. I had the first time I performed that was on the Dave Chappelle show.
Of course it was my favorite show, and that's where I saw
Likewise.
it. And I wish he would come back. Do you know where he is now? Is he still?
He's probably watching the show right now, and we're big fans, so we should let him know.
I'm a huge Chappelle fan, but that
he's
song
around. He pops up, but you never know where.
Right, he'll come to a comedy club and do 7 hours and then split. Okay, that song though, you were singing it before we had Obama as president.
Yes.
So the meaning to it now, think about that.
Yeah. No, definitely. And there was a rumor that I was playing the Republican convention. I don't know if you heard that.
No, I did hear it. I did hear it.
Just wanted to clear that up. That was really a rumor.
Yeah.
Because there was actually something to it having nothing to do with the convention.
Actually, the person who pulled out of the show was Willie Nelson. And when it came across the desk, it said a show for veterans. And I support the vets.
Sure.
But once we saw Republican convention, I was like, no sirree.
Heaven forfend.
A Republican.
Now, speaking of presidents, last time we talked to you, you were maybe on your way to run for the presidency of Haiti.
Yes, I know.
And they said you can't do that.
Well, they said I can't do that. Actually, my second book is going to be called "They Tried to J. Edgar Hoover Me," and it's like a political spoof where I go in. But basically, they took me out on the technicality of the residence charge, saying that you have to be in the country 5 years. But 5 years prior to this, the current president, who's a friend of mine, I was a diplomat with an ambassador-at-large passport.
So this is just really,
Yeah, so in my second book, I explain it because we go into laws. Because, like, coming to the United States at the age of 9 years old, no one can fool us about what the U.S. Constitution is. But I feel a lot of what they said to you coming from Haiti was a lot of bamboozled, because if they said, well, he doesn't have to have 5 years residency, you just said, well, I guess so.
Right.
But within our Constitution, not even the president at that time was in the country for 5 years. And an ambassador at large clearly is to be outside of the country.
You have a portfolio, right? You're connected to the country.
Yes, big time connected.
Did you get the special license plates? That's what I want to know.
I had the plates. I have the diplomatic pass.
Diplomatic pass. That's nice, so you can speed and not get a ticket.
Well, I mean, you don't want to abuse it.
No, of course not. Now let's talk about purpose, because I think that, in this book you really talk about the duality of, you've got such a political strong mind, which you've used in your music for so long, and also your love and passion for the politics there.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, my book is 8 chapters. It starts off with the earthquake, going back firsthand in my eye, what I saw. The hardest thing for me going back to Haiti, the earthquake, would be noticing people about to die, and having to put them to sleep calmly, telling them that it's going to be all right, knowing
it wasn't.
Yeah, we detail the struggle coming from the hut. So coming from the hut, by the time I got to the projects in New York, I just felt like I was rich from the extreme part.
That's what I want to talk about.
We're having Salman Rushdie on. He went through an experience similar to yours when he went to England. Yeah. He was always sort of the other, trying to fit in, trying to find that thing that'll allow you to fit in. I think when you started rhyming, it let you fit in.
Right.
Yes, and then so keep in mind, my whole life has always been a yin and the yang. So my father was a Christian minister, Wyclef John. He actually named me after the reformator. Right. So when he says, my brother said, okay, he's going to be a lawyer. And I turned around and said, I'm going to be a rapper. Can you imagine what went down in that household?
No.
Well, and he was very strict, very stern. When it
Yeah,
comes
he
to
was
this
very
stuff.
stern.
Did you say I'm going to be a rapper or I'm going to be a singer? Because at the time where you...
No, it was like I wanted to rap, you know, like because what happens is through a lot of hip hop was how I learned a lot of English at the time because I didn't speak English. So, you know, I would be hearing it and I felt like it was
cool. Who's your favorite hip hop?
It was cool just to be like the hip, the hop, the hippity, hippity, hip, hip, hip hop. You don't stop. You see, you feel me? Because you just, even if you don't know the language, you can learn it.
Now, when you come from and you talk about the slums of Haiti and then going to what you thought was a richer lifestyle, which was really, on the American side, still on the poor end of things. Talk about that. And being a translator for your parents.
No. The thing for me was like a lot of kids, like just even watching this in LA, and a lot of time we live in rural areas and we complain a lot. So if you're complaining about the sneaker that you have, so think about back to my life. There was no sneakers. If you complain about that one uniform that you have, think about it. I had no uniforms. Think about that. You can actually get a bus card. I had a donkey. So what I did was just the parallels to try to have kids understand that if you have a strong mind and a strong will, you can get out of anything.
And a purpose.
And a purpose, purpose, which is the most important thing for me.
Do you have kids that say to you, because now they see you and you're in the bright lights and you're so successful, how did you're a success story for them and a positive role model?
You know what's the deepest thing to me is the young kids that are 15 and 16 years old. When they come up to me, the first question they ask me is not, how was it working with Shakira on Hips Don't Lie? They say, how was it running for president and what made you do it? To me, that is the kind of signal I want to send out there.
Very quickly in the book, you talk a lot about Lauryn Hill, you talk a lot about the Fugees, you talk about where it went, what happened, the craziness of your life, how passion is a wonderful thing, gets you in a lot of trouble though, right?
Yeah, definitely. And the thing about it is, like I say, the book is 8 pages, but automatically 8 chapters. And people go into the Lauryn Hill part because of what's in the press. Just to clear it up, if someone reads the entire book, understand, far from disrespecting Lauryn Hill, I wouldn't have wanted my wife to even relive the chapter, but there was a part in the book, you have to understand, I'm taking the reader into a frame of mind. So everything that I'm telling you is when I'm saying that, you know, I'm sitting there in the chair in the hospital, when I'm telling you that, I'm taking you in a frame of mind to say, this is how I felt at the time. So clearly, you know, when children are involved, it's sensitive. And I want people to know this is not a book about gossip. But what happens is, if I don't tell history of exactly how I felt, how I was in my frame of mind, then someone else will carve it for me in my own words. Other people will tell your story. So it was important to tell my story.
All right. The book is called Purpose.
What a story.
It's, you know, and you're not even at the midway point yet.
Yeah, so I got 6 more books to go.
By the way, Steve wants to know, what was it like working with Shakira on Hips Don't Lie?
Distracting.
I can only imagine. Very distracting.
Very distracting. Very distracting.
Oh, Hips do tell the truth sometimes. Thank you so much. When we come back, you guys did the Emmy hits in fashions.
Yes, and now we're going to do the misses, the worst dress. We'll talk about
Wyclef, great to see you.
I would love Chappelle to come back and you to go back. The music was so good on that show.
I would love that too.
And the skits were the best. Funnier than Saturday Night Live, funnier than anything.
No, Chappelle's the man.
He's the man.
Can you imagine if he came back?
No, I would die.
You thought I was a ballerina because you